welcome to Webinar Wednesday here at Lulu. Shout out to Alan for kicking off the chat. He is, oh, there's Joyce. I was about to say, Alan is all alone in the chat saying hello. Please don't leave him hanging. So hi, Alan, and hi, Joyce, and hello to everyone else who is joining us. Thank you so much for deciding to spend some time with us. So today we are here to talk about direct sales and how direct sales can help you market smarter, not harder. So hop in the chat, let us know where you're coming from, how your day is going. Have you used direct sales before? Has it been helpful to you? Let us know. I am alone today, so if you've been joining us on our webinar journey, you've noticed that we've had co-pilots or guests throughout the year. But today we're bringing it back to the basics and just talking about Lulu and how we can help you with direct sales. So thank you again, everyone, for hopping in, and I will go ahead and get started. All right, well, you can see my slide is already up here. I didn't really notice that my shirt is kind of matching my slides. That's just a happy accident, I guess. And we're here again to learn how to market smarter and not harder. I will say we will have questions at the end. You can drop those in the Q&A tab. We'll have one of our e-commerce specialists come on to help answer any of those. So feel free to do that. And if anyone is joining late or has to leave early, then the recording will be available on our YouTube channel as well. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so who are we? I am assuming maybe if you are here, you are familiar with Lulu, but just to cover all of our bases, we are Lulu. So Lulu is a real word. It's a remarkable person, object, or idea. We were founded in 2002 by Bob Young, so we've been around for a little while now. Our platform is free to use. We published over 3 million books, printed over 3 million books, and paid out over $117 million in author revenue. Direct sales can be a great way for you to get in on that, so stay tuned. And then here is our mission, which is Lulu is dedicated to making the world a better place, one book at a time, through sustainable practices, innovative print-on-demand products, and a commitment to excellent service. All right, so if you've ever seen me present, you know I always slide this slide in here. But I always like to let people know that we are a certified B Corp. So if you're not familiar with B Corps, it's just for-profit companies that are certified by the nonprofit B Lab to meet rigorous standards of social, environmental performance, accountability, and transparency. Big fan of B Corps. If you are not familiar, then definitely check out the B Corp movement. The holidays are basically tomorrow, so it's definitely worth your while to check that out. All right, so I am Chelsea. I am Lulu's Education and Community Manager. So hello, this is me, and that is my cat Batman, who is unfortunately not able to make it. He had another booking today. All right, so we're here to talk about direct sales. You can also call this direct-to-consumer sales. So let's start with a little bit of a primer. What is direct-to-consumer? So direct-to-consumer is when a brand sells their product directly to the customer, bypassing any third-party retailers, wholesalers, or other middlemen or women. So if you're familiar with self-publishing, then you kind of already know what this is. So the self-publishing model is built off the idea that you as the author sell directly to your audience. You don't have to go to an agent, to go to a publisher, to go to the reader. You can go straight there. So direct-to-consumer sales is basically an iteration of that. So you as the publisher or author cut out the bookseller and you can sell directly to your readers. And so, Phil, I see your question there, and hello to Phil. Not sure what direct sales include. From the trunk of my car, indie bookstores, and local events. Yes, well, there are several different forms of direct sales. Selling your books from the trunk of your car to your readers is a form of direct sales. It's anything that's going to allow you as the author or publisher to connect directly with your readers or your audience. So that is one way to do it. In-person events, live events is a great way to do that. And what we're going to talk about today a little bit later is really how to do that for your own website. So yes, if the trunk of your car is full of your books, selling them in person is a form of direct sales. It's any way that you're cutting out the middleman, the bookseller, the distributor, kind of taking that up on your own and getting directly to your readers. All right, so That's a little bit of what direct-to-consumer is, but let's talk about some trends and why that's important. So I want to kind of share some of these. These are from 2022, but I think these kind of set you in the right mindset to understand why direct-to-consumer and why direct sales are so valuable, and just kind of show that people, with their dollars, with their buying power, are also illustrating that they want to be able to buy directly from the author, the publisher in this case. So consumers are 4 times more likely to purchase from a company with strong brand values. So we're going to talk about how direct sales can help you market smarter. And one of the ways is that when you're selling direct, you have more opportunities to show some personality and to share a little bit about yourself and your brand with your customers, with your readers, which can help them build that relationship with you and become more loyal to you. Next is, in the past year, nearly half of customers chose to buy from brands that have a clear commitment to sustainability. Studies have shown 71% rise in online searches for sustainable goods in 2016. So this kind of goes back to my BCorp pitch in the beginning. If you are selling direct and using Lulu to fulfill your books, you can take that on as well. You are sourcing your product from a certified B Corp, and so you can share that. If environmental awareness is important to you, then that may be important to your readers as well. And then consumers are willing to spend more money and accept slower shipping times for the right brand. So this is important because along with our B Corp mission and along with just self-publishing and print-on-demand technology, it'll take a little bit longer for your readers to get your books. But studies have shown, and the market has told us, that what we see is when your readers connect with you on a more personal level, when they really connect with your brand and resonate with your brand values, they're willing to wait a little bit longer to get that. So we have a ton of authors, obviously, that use Lulu to sell their books. And when they communicate to their audience and say, hey, if you buy this from me, I can make more money. And, it might take a couple more days for you to get your books, but it's really helping me build my brand. And a lot of people are willing to do that. Just a few more trends for you. So 52% of customers are more likely to purchase from a company with shared values. We talked about that a little bit, but selling direct, again, gets readers on your website, or in Phil's case, to the trunk of his car. And when you have that opportunity to spend a little bit more time with your audience, you can talk about the things that really matter to you when it makes sense, and maybe it resonates with them. And then again, that really helps with building brand trust and brand loyalty. So acquisition costs are rising, and brand building will help with customer attraction and retention. We're going to talk about today how direct sales can help you build that long-term relationship and not just create one-time transactional relationships, but lifelong fans. Worldwide e-commerce sales are expected to grow from $2.9 billion in 2018 to $6.3 billion in 2024. So that is next year. So we're excited to see that growth, and we hope that you can all get in on that. Social commerce is still on the rise. So by 2025, sales via social media channels are expected to triple. So we'll talk about how when you're selling direct, you can also pull in your social media channels and get some help with those sales as well. Okay, so why should an author use direct sales? So we talked a little bit about the value of that, the trends, what are direct sales, but why should you as an author think about adding this to your arsenal of tools and ways to sell to your audience? So the first is brand control. So I talked about this a little bit, but just think about the typical author journey, especially for independent authors. Usually at some point when you publish your book, you'll put it on a third-party marketplace like Amazon. And then when you do that, then you are kind of in the Amazon ecosystem, or even Lulu when you sell through our bookstore. You're getting our branding on all of your stuff. You're getting Amazon's branding on everything. You're seeing their recommended products. You're seeing, whatever they want to promote that day when people come to buy your book, that's what your readers are seeing. So by taking this into your own hands and being able to sell directly through your website, you're able to really control the customer journey. And we're going to talk a little bit about that more in a minute. You also have more revenue when you're selling direct because, again, you're cutting out that middle step. You're cutting out the middleman or middlewoman, whomever, and you're able to retain more of that revenue. Some of you may be aware that the more distribution channels you use, and obviously going wide is very popular and a great option for you to get your book in front of more people, but every distribution channel that you use is going to take a cut of your revenue. So by selling direct, you can retain more money per sale. That also leads to a faster payout. So with some of the methods that we're going to talk about today, you can expect payout from your sales within 24 to 48 hours in some cases, but much faster than the 30, 60, 90-day period that you may have to see when you are selling through a third party or a distributor. Transparency around sustainability. Again, this really points to Lulu's commitment to being a B Corp. If you use our direct sales solutions, then you can take advantage of that as well. Owning customer data and marketing smarter. That's what we're here to talk about today. So when you own the customer data, these are the insights that are really invaluable to your marketing plan, because you can see exactly who you're marketing to and communicate with them and improve your marketing efforts instead of just guessing where they are or what they like or who bought your books. White label solutions is a great thing to be able to take advantage of when you are selling direct. You can have more brand continuity. So again, if you're using Lulu Direct for your direct sales, then it's your branding that could be on the packing slip. And so no one has to know that we are in the background printing and fulfilling. You can really operate under a white label system and have your your publishing imprint be front and center. And then playing the long game. So direct sales are a great way for you to really invest in what you're doing and then be able to see the trajectory of who is buying your content, what do they like about it, what's resonating with them, and then keep that communication channel open so that, again, it's not just transactional. You can build out your email list, connect with these folks on social media, bring them to your website, and build those relationships that are really going to help you with ROI and longevity of your business. All right, so how can you market smarter with direct sales? Obviously, the first one is incorporate direct sales. So we talked a little bit about how there are several different ways to do that, but whether you use Lulu or not, whether you are selling through your own website or not, making sure that you have a way to connect directly with your readers. Maybe it's in-person events. Maybe it's going around when you do speaking engagements, you're selling there. But just when you decide to go wide, when you think about all the ways you want to distribute your books, just make sure that there is an element of that direct connection with your audience and with your readers. You can also own your customer journey with direct sales, and we'll talk about what that means. But again, it's really being able to curate an experience for your readers instead of sending them to a third party to purchase your books. You can market smarter by using proven methods. So by utilizing proven methods like social ads and using your social media, working with influencers, building out your email list and nurturing that, these are all ways that we know can help you grow your business. And we're going to look into those more as well. Collect and review data. Of course, it's so important to not only implement these strategies, but then take time on a regular basis to look at how they're doing and tweak your approach. And then, as I said, investing in the long game. So really thinking about what is this going to mean in 6 months, in 12 months, what is this going to look like for me? Can I start building these relationships now that'll have that continued payoff down the road? All right, so the first one, incorporate direct sales. So we talked a little bit about this, so whether you are selling at in-person events, that's definitely one way to do it. Now that we are seeing those come back to life, which is so exciting, you can do that. And I would always recommend, if you do have a line of events coming up that you will be selling your books, it's great to have your books with you, of course, but also as you're selling them, see if you can get an email address. Would you like to sign up for my email list as well as buy my book? A lot of people will say yes. And then, of course, you can add bonuses or entice them more to do that. But building out that email list is so important, and direct sales is a great way to do that. You can also hand fulfill online orders. So you may see that authors are selling books through their website and they just have kind of the cart or their shop set up, but the fulfillment on the back end maybe isn't automated yet. So if you're not ready to take that on, then you can absolutely just put an e-commerce integration into your website with Shopify, WooCommerce, some of the others. Sell your books, and then as orders come in, pack and fulfill them. Order your books in bulk, and when the orders come in, then you ship them out. So this can be really fun for special editions. If you have signed copies, people always love that. You can also do something really fun with bookmarks or customization, or add a thank you note. If anyone has purchased on Etsy, a lot of times when you buy something on Etsy, you'll get that package in the mail. It has a little thank you for supporting a small business, or here's how you can follow me on social media, or including another call to action to your readers so that they can continue the communication with you and continue that conversation. So by buying your books in bulk and selling them through your website and hand fulfilling those orders, you have a lot of opportunities for customization, personalization, and then again, those call to actions to help people continue the conversation after they've made that purchase. Last but absolutely not least, you can also integrate with Lulu Direct or Lulu's Print API. So we will talk about the options we have for you to do that. But when you integrate with Lulu Direct and Lulu's Print API, the process is completely automated once the sale is made. So the sale is transmitted to us. We print and fulfill the books. We have a global print network so we can get your books wherever your readers are. Why would you do this? To retain more revenue per sale, get paid quickly, collect customer data, which is just a huge part of this conversation, keep your brand front and center with white label shipping, and the automation. So although there are great benefits to each of these methods, the automation can really come in handy because then around the clock as orders come in, they're being printed and fulfilled as they come in instead of, you having to wake up every day and check those sales and then start, figuring out which day of the week you're going to go to the post office and fulfill those orders. So automation can really be key to helping grow your business. All right, so owning the customer journey, I mentioned it a couple times, but what does that mean? So the customer journey is just what pathway a customer goes on to make a purchase from you. So if they Googled you, they saw you maybe at a speaking event, they saw your social media ads, maybe you did a podcast, maybe you did, put your book on Goodreads, whatever it is, there's that moment where they see you, they're aware of you, and then the journey that they go on to actually purchase your product, in this case, your book. So it is really important to create an author website if you haven't already. So if you aren't very tech savvy, then this can be done a lot of ways. There are some kind of out of the box solutions that are a little bit easier and more approachable. Then of course it can be as customized and complicated as you want it to be. But it's really important to create your own author website so you have what we call owned versus rented land. So what we mean by that is that you have your own real estate on the internet. So as we've all seen, social media is wilding out there. It's getting crazy. Twitter is now X. There's also Threads, whatever, the metaverse, I don't know, TikToking is what the kids are doing. There's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of things going on social media. And social media is a great place to be if your audience research has told you that that's where your audience is. But if you're just relying on social media to get the word out or connect with your readers, things can change. And even though you should definitely be active there, again, if that's where your audience is, you should also kind of think about what happens when these algorithms change. What happens if my book falls out of favor or something happens and I'm not getting promoted the way that I wanted to, I'm not reaching the audience that I wanted to. That is the opportunity for you to have your own website and send traffic to that. So with your own website, you don't have to encourage people to scroll through a feed of cats and cooking tips and whatever to find your book. It's right there and it can be right on the landing page as people arrive. So I will again encourage you, if you haven't thought about creating an author website, if that isn't part of your process, please consider that. As I said, the holidays will soon be upon us. So now is a really great time to start building that out and thinking about what that might look like for you. If you have a website, then you can have an email list. And an email list is so valuable. I probably should have put this on the direct-to-consumer marketing trends, but email marketing is the best and most successful way to go about marketing. I talked about the problems with social media. Maybe you'll do some other more traditional media or magazine ads or radio ads or television ads. That's all great. And I'm not telling you to not do those things, but email marketing is above and beyond. Because think about it. Think about the last time you signed up for an email list. What made you do that? Why did you do that? Because you wanted that information on a regular basis. You wanted that direct connection with whatever that platform, company, newsletter, person, whatever it was. Giving in your email address is a little bit more sacred than following someone on social media. And when you have that space, and you're able to build out your email list and get directly into people's inboxes, the implications can be really tremendous when you have that line of communication open. And you can really only do that if you have your own website or that mechanism to send people to sign up for your email list. And that can be part of your customer journey. So when you're thinking about what will happen when someone lands on your website, do you want them to immediately see your email sign up? Do you want them to see your book first? This is all what we call the customer journey. So once you have this set up and you think about, okay, I have my homepage set up, I have my sale page set up, I have my my email list in a couple of different places and my social handles. So the next thing you'd want to do once you kind of get all that set up the way that you'd like is complete end-to-end testing. So what this means is that you go through, pretend you're a customer and you're a huge fan of you, and you go to your website and you go through all the steps from landing on your homepage to navigating to your sales page, to finding the book, to hitting checkout and going through the whole process, purchasing that book, and then getting it in the mail. So I know it can be very exciting and also very time consuming to set all this up. I mean, there's a lot that will go into getting your website set up, getting your books published, getting them on your website, getting your email, your, what we call an ESP or your email service provider integrated into your site. This isn't to scare you, but it's to be very realistic about what will go into getting all this set up. So I know that kind of like when you publish your book and people kind of want to skip the proof copy step, this is the same thing. You have to complete the end-to-end testing because you want to be the one that finds any issues on your website. I would also encourage you to invite friends and family to try out this process as well. So you should definitely do it, but also ask people that haven't been, so involved with creating your website or setting up your products or really curating this experience, and see what they think and say, hey, were you able to find my products easily? Was it easy to add it to cart? Were you able to go through checkout? You really want to make this customer journey as frictionless as possible. You want it to be really easy for people to go through your website and buy your books. And very similar to when you're writing a book, we always encourage authors to look at similar books in your genre to see how they're doing it, what people like and what they don't like. You as an individual, as you are going through online shopping, as you're buying things through different websites, it's a really good idea to think, oh, what did I like about this process? Or I really liked how they had their similar products listed under it and it was really easy. Or I liked that they said, if I bought 2 copies, I could get another one free, or I got the ebook or things like that. So as you're out on the internet, on the interwebs, think about what you like about website design and checkout processes and see if you can incorporate the good things in yours and leave the bad things out. All right, so you also want to create a customer service strategy. So you can see here this image that I have, this cat. Hopefully your customer service strategy is not embodied by this grumpy cat. But, I know that sometimes as authors, you think about just the books and publishing them and the marketing piece and the business piece of it may not come as naturally to you. But when you start to sell direct, you have to think about your customer service strategy. Even if everything is firing on all cylinders, there's going to be something that your customers need to communicate with you about. So maybe it's that they ordered 1 book and they meant to order 2. Maybe it's that they put in the wrong address. Maybe they thought they were going to be somewhere and then they're going to move, or they're going to be somewhere else. They need to update the address, whatever. There are a myriad of things. Again, you as a customer, I'm sure have experienced buying things. And the people who buy your books will probably inevitably have something that they need to contact you about. So think about how you will address these. Will you have a customer service email? Are you going to accept customer service phone calls? I would also recommend having an FAQ page. An FAQ page is a great way to help alleviate some of the customer service inquiries that you might have. Some things to include on there would be, when will my book arrive? Will I get an email confirmation? How do I contact you? When are you available? So think about these things as you start to sell through your website and make it easy to find you, because this kind of all goes back to building brand loyalty and brand trust. I know for me personally, if I am buying something, especially if it's from a company I haven't worked with before or an individual that I haven't bought from before, I want to see that they're making it easy to connect with them. I want to know, what's the best way to reach you in case I do have a question. And when I see that they're not, hiding or their website isn't void of any contact information, it makes me feel better and more confident about spending money with them because they're making it easy to connect with them. So another thing to think about there. And again, establish a social media presence with a caveat when it makes sense. I was reading an article today about a new social media platform that's coming out. It's just like, wow, how many can there be? How many do we need? So when you think about social media, again, if this is, some of you may just be like, I love it. I'm actually on Twitter or Zitter, whatever it is now. I'm actually on that right now because I love it so much instead of watching this presentation. So that's fine. If you love it, that's amazing. But make sure wherever your target audience is, whoever your target audience is, the social media channels that you are active on mirror the ones that they are active on, so that when you're putting your energy into that, it can help you connect with more readers and grow your brand and sell more books. But of course, like I said, the caveat there is just do your research. Where is your audience? If they're really spending most of their time on Facebook, if they're spending most of their time on Instagram, don't feel like you have to be doing all the things to connect with them. Find where they're most active and go set up shop there. All right, so utilize proven methods. How can we do that and what are they? So the first one on here is so important. So I talked a little bit about algorithms and how you can get discovered on the internet. SEO and SEM is the engine behind that. So search engine optimization and search engine marketing. This is Google, right? This is when you go to Google and type in best book summer read. That's so vague, but if you want to try to have your book come up in that search, you have to understand keywords and how to, kind of stack the deck in your favor to make sure that your content is ranking really well. So this webinar today is not directly on SEO and SEM, but if you go to our YouTube channel, we do have a couple videos on SEO and SEM and how you can use that. As you begin to look at your website and how to build that out, make sure that you are doing all the things that the overlord Google really likes. So, putting up content regularly, making sure that your content is relevant and accurate to questions that you may be answering, making sure that you don't have a ton of dead backlinks or your stuff isn't spammy. There are a lot of things out there that you can do to make sure that when people are searching for books in your genre or content that is similar to yours, you are ranking and that you are getting seen. So definitely look into that. Next is email marketing. So I talked about how important this is. Email, building out your email list can really be kind of the holy grail of communicating with your audience and just giving you, again, that direct line of communication. So if you haven't played around with this yet, try it out. Figure out what works for you. Think about how often you would want to send email. So even if you may think, okay, I really just want to use my email channel for coupons, then fine, send out a coupon once a month, twice a month, whatever is going to make sense for you and is going to be sustainable. You just want to think about doing or creating a cadence that you will be able to stick with so that your audience can understand and know what to expect from you and when to expect it. Some other great content for email marketing is blogs. So if you have a blog on your website or you're interested in writing a blog, then you can promote that through your email list. Say, hey, check out what I posted this week. That can be a great way for you to test out new content and see what's resonating with your audience. That could maybe lead to your next book. You can ask for reviews through email. You can ask for people to recommend your book or share it with a friend. You can ask for feedback, send surveys. What did you like about my last book? How did you hear about me? So this can give you so many insights into your audience and help you market smarter. If everyone on your email list responds with, hey, I heard about you through this Facebook ad, or I heard about you through this podcast you were on, then you know that those are worthwhile marketing efforts and you can keep doing that instead of just doing a million different things and going in 100 directions at once until you're burned out and you're still not sure at the end of the day what was really working for you and what was it. So email marketing, huge, huge asset to any author and any business. Paid ads. So any social media platform that you use, for the most part, is going to have some way for you to create paid ads and promote those or boost those to your audience. So whatever platform you are active on, look into that. See what you can do. And, most of them are pretty inexpensive. I mean, obviously, they will let you spend as much money as you want. But if you find yourself really active on Facebook, you can run Facebook ads, put a little bit of money behind it, see how it goes. And then, continue doing that or try something else. So paid ads are a great way to do that. Influencer marketing is also really popular. I would almost, at this point, have edited this to micro-influencer marketing. If you are not familiar with what that is, it just means finding someone who doesn't have a massive, not Mr. Beast level audience who has like billions of followers, I guess, but maybe someone who is in your genre or who is speaking on the same topic as you, or who has a shared audience that you have that you would like to get in front of. And maybe they have 1,000 followers. Maybe they have 5,000 followers, 10,000, but something smaller than the millions, the hundreds of thousands that you might see. Working with micro-influencers can be a really great way to get your message across and grow your audience, because with micro-influencers, because they're a little bit smaller and sort of untainted, if you will, their audience really trusts them. And for most people who have those audience sizes, they really will vet who they're going to share and who they're going to bring in front of their audience, because you have to really work to build that up and to build that trust. So if you haven't considered influencer marketing, thinking about, again, who is your target audience? What are you talking about? What is your topic of interest? And who else is out there talking about it? And I know that it can be intimidating to approach other authors or businesses or individuals who may have a large following or maybe doing something similar to what you're doing, but hopefully they're friendly and the high tide rises all ships, right? And then maybe you can do the same for them and say, hey, I've really been crushing my email list, so I would love to share your book for my email list subscribers, and you can kind of do something there. Coupons and promotions, as I said, everybody loves a deal. So around different holidays or events, or maybe it's just a Tuesday and you want to sell your books for half price, you can do that. And obviously that can be a great way to drive sales and get people excited about what you have going on your site. So I subscribe to a newsletter, and it's called Celebrate Every Day Holiday Calendar. You can Google it, but it's basically every single day there are a plethora of holidays. Yesterday was like Mahjong Day and Respect Your Parents Day, so I sent my parents an email. Probably should have called. But regardless, every single day there are a ton of holidays, ranging from the serious and very cause-oriented to the quirky and interesting. One of my favorites that I see on there every year is a sneak a zucchini on your neighbor's porch holiday. So all that to say, regardless of what you're talking about or what you're into or whatever fandom you have built your books or your business around, there is a holiday that correlates with that. Today's Coloring Book Day, for instance. So a holiday is anything that makes people act out of the ordinary. So thinking about that, and can you pair a promotion or a coupon with that? That can be a great way for you to connect with your audience, delight them, have some fun with it, and connect with them in that way and drive sales. And then, of course, reviews and testimonials. So this is huge. Who buys anything these days without looking at a review? I mean, it's so easy to just Google insert product you're buying reviews and find 100 people who are willing to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So again, you can go back and do this through your email list. You can do this through your social media. But like, hey, if you bought my book, if you liked it, please leave me a review. And then you can include those on your website to help drive more traffic and encourage people to purchase your book. Okay, next up is collect and review data. So there's a ton of data that you can look into, and I'm just going to go through a handful here, but your transactional data. So who is buying your books? This is really the insight into who your customers are. So when someone comes through your website and buys that book and you make that direct sale, you're able to get information about them. So their email address, you could add in things like, how did you hear about me on the checkout page? And you can ask them different questions that are going to help you market smarter. So by looking at this transactional data, of course, you can grow your email list. You can say, hey, I had a huge spike in sales, the first of the month, and I had just done that podcast, or I had just, paid for some ads on my favorite social media account, or I had just done this interview. I just did this speaking engagement, what have you. So looking at that and seeing what are your customers telling you when you can see spikes in your sales or even lulls. What didn't I do this month, or what was different? Maybe I tweaked something. Maybe I didn't post as much on social media. Maybe I didn't send as many emails and I saw a dip in my transactional data. So looking at that is huge. And again, another point of all of these, regardless of what you're looking at, is to just do it regularly. So making sure that you have time on a regular basis, maybe monthly, maybe twice a month, to look at the data from whatever marketing efforts you're doing and honing in on what's really working for you. So email performance, I don't want to try to convince you again about email, but once you start sending your emails, open rates. So who is actually opening the emails? And then when people are opening them, what are they clicking on? We look at this all the time at Lulu. Who is opening our emails? What are they clicking on in the emails? And how can we do more of that? I mean, if you have an email list, you really want it to be engaging for people. You want people to not only get your emails, but you want them to also be interacting with the content in them. Did you put a link to your social media? Did anyone click on it? Did you put a link to a webinar today? Did anyone click on it? So doing different things like that and looking at that email performance can really help you understand the content that your audience is really resonating with. Paid ads, as I said, if you were on any social media platforms and you're paying for ads, that's a great method to try to get in front of your audience. But you can see, how did that work? I used a different graphic, or maybe that my sales copy was a little bit more aggressive than it usually is, or I posted this meme as an ad. Did it work? So spending the money to get those paid ads out there, but also stopping to see if those ads work as well. And then social posts. So, hey, social posts are an easy one because everyone can see your likes that you got, the engagement that you got. Did anyone comment on that post? Did anyone comment on that video? So that one is a little bit easy. It maybe can be a little disheartening, maybe heartening as well. So looking at those posts and seeing, what did you write in there? What kind of content was it? And how did it perform? Site traffic. So again, looking at the website that you built and seeing, okay, people are landing on my homepage, but maybe they're leaving immediately. Why is that? Can I make it easier for them to find my book? Should I put my book on my homepage so they can buy it immediately? So it's another good one for site traffic and information you can get once you build your own website. And then abandoned carts. So abandoned carts, this just means that maybe someone goes to buy your book and for whatever reason, they don't do it. Or maybe you have other things that you're selling on your website as well, and you see that people are adding it to the cart, but they're not converting. They're not making that purchase. So looking at how often that's happening, again, this is when that end-to-end testing can really be helpful, because you go through the process and say, you know what, after I add to my cart, it's kind of hard to navigate back there, or I'm asking too many questions in the checkout process, or whatever. There can be a lot of different reasons people abandon carts. Maybe they're waiting for you to send them a coupon, but these are all things that when you really dig into it, you can get such a wonderful landscape of what is helping you drive sales and what isn't. And a lot of this can come from direct sales. So the transactional data, the email performance, site traffic, abandoned carts, that's all coming from direct sales. All right, Will just said I was talking like a runaway train, so let me take a breath. I'm sorry, I'm just saying that I feel like I'm coming up to the end of my time. And Christopher said, I wish my dog could type. Don't we all, Christopher? And also, I will say this will be on our YouTube channel, so if you need to play it at half speed, you're welcome to do that as well, and I apologize. All right, so invest in the long game. I only have a couple slides left, so I'll just try to get through these a little bit quickly, but not runaway train quickly. All right, so nurture your email list. So once you have those emails, think about having a welcome series. Think about how you can continue, building those relationships, sending out, your blog posts or promos that you have, or just asking for feedback from your readers. So once you built that email list, you can't really set it and forget it. You have to be a little bit more involved in thinking about how you will nurture that. And again, the email list will be a great way for you to get some ROI for your efforts. Provide good customer service. Everybody knows a time that I'm sure you could all name a business that you will not go back to because you were treated poorly. And likewise, a business that you will continue to go back to because you were treated well. And I also want to note that a lot of times customer complaints can turn into a great way to create a lifelong customer. I've definitely had examples of something where I was buying something and it didn't go right, or there was a problem with the order. If that shop, person, company treated me like a person and made it right, then I'm a lifelong fan. You want to know that you're going to be taken care of and that your complaints are going to be handled in a humane and empathetic manner, hopefully. So providing great customer service can be great for that. Use analytics to drive marketing decisions. Those analytics were in the last slide. We talked about that. Ask for feedback and listen to it. Asking for feedback is one thing, but then actually trusting your audience to tell you what they need from you and kind of tweaking your approach to make sure you're providing it can be a huge asset in building those lifelong fans and building that community around your brand and your books. And then subscribe to industry newsletters. So I work in publishing. So I have a ton of publishing related newsletters, a lot of e-commerce related newsletters that I subscribe to on a regular basis so that I can just be aware of what is going on and what other people are talking about. So you want to be in the loop. You don't want to just kind of have your head down and be focusing on your own work. You also want to see what are trends in the industry. Can you capitalize on those? Do you need to tell your audience about something new? Then they can start coming to you for that information. So industry newsletters can be a great way for you to create new content, just keep you in the loop of what's going on, and then keep your business really agile and kind of on the cutting edge of what's going on so nothing gets stale or out of date. And that's a really long wiener dog for long game. Get it? All right. All right. So how can you sell direct with Lulu? So we have 3 different ways for you to do this. And then, of course, I've got some of our really great selling points, the benefits of using Lulu Direct. But, of course, you're selling your book through your own website. You're keeping 100% of your profits, collecting customer data, automating the print and fulfillment, the white label drop shipping, which I mentioned. So, again, that means your publishing imprint, your business, your branding is going to be on the package, on the packing slip. Nothing about Lulu. No one has to know that we're, in the background printing and fulfilling. You can have access to our global print network. We have printers, I think 7 different printers around the world. We're always trying to grow that network, and you can tap into that through Lulu Direct or our print API. You get paid faster, as I mentioned, and we integrate with Shopify, WooCommerce for WordPress, or our print API. All right, so in this next slide, this just kind of goes over if you're thinking, I would love to sell direct, I'm interested in using Lulu Direct, but I don't know how yet, or I'm not sure which pathway is going to make sense for me. So a great way to think about this, and we have a video, so again, if you go to our YouTube channel, then you can see, I think it's just how to sell books directly through your website is what the name of this video is. So you can go through that video and kind of see these comparisons a little bit more in depth, but this is just a summation. So if you are interested in Shopify, it's a great option for you if you want 24/7 support and you want things like hosting and security taken care of for you. Also, if you want your website to be up and running as quickly as possible and you don't have a lot of technical knowledge, Shopify is really great for out-of-the-box solutions. And it has a ton of clean and stylish templates that are easy to use. So if kind of quick and dirty, you don't want to have to take a coding class or really learn about a ton of the technical aspects. You just really want something up and running quickly you can play around with and set up. Shopify is a great option for you. WooCommerce works great with WordPress. So if you have a WordPress website already, using WooCommerce might be a great option. So WooCommerce also adds a ton of a ton of personalization. So if you're working on a passion project where you really need everything to look a very certain way, kind of going back to that customer journey, you've already visualized exactly how you want that to look. WooCommerce is great for you. It also is great if you want to build a large online store with scalability and you're tech savvy and want greater control over your site's design and function. WooCommerce has a ton, and WordPress as well, just have a ton of different plugins and customization options and everything. I mean, there's a ton of stuff you can do if you want to take the time to really make a unique experience for your readers. Then WooCommerce may be a better bet for you. And you can see that Kristen from Lulu, our e-commerce specialist I promised in the beginning, has entered the chat. Thank you, Kristen. All right, so while we have a little bit of time left, I do want to save some time for more questions, but thank you again to Kristen, who I see is up there or in there and answering some of them. But I want to show you what this actually looks like. So these are some Lulu users in the wild. I was going to call this person Joe Dirt, but that's not his name. Joe Exotic. He does not publish with us. Neither does that tiger. Okay. All right. So when I talk about customization and really making a customer journey that is memorable and really special for your readers, Phoebe Garnsworthy always comes to mind. I love her website, but I wanted to show this for a couple reasons. So when you land on her homepage, so serene, right? Her content is really about mindfulness, meditations, affirmations. She also has a couple of fiction projects as well. But when you land on this page, even just above the fold, which is kind of just the first part of the website, you just see this image. It invites you to take a breath. It invites you to calm down and really get in the right mindset for her content. And then what I love that she did was have her email sign up is right here. So it's one of the first things that you see. And she's offering you a free meditation when you sign up. So having an email sign up is great. What's even better is when you have an email sign up that offers something to you in exchange for your email. So again, really in line with the content that she has, offering a free meditation is amazing. All right, so a little bit farther down her homepage is where she is selling her books. So again, I really like the way that she laid out her page. It's all very relevant to the content that she has. It really kind of gets you in that headspace of calming and relaxing, and it kind of really is on brand for her, which I really like. But she also has all of her books here in an easy way to buy them. So Daily Rituals is the book she wants to highlight. When you're creating your website, you can put whatever book up that you want to sell, whatever book you want people to recognize or see first, that's the one you can highlight. She's doing this with Daily Rituals, but then that's not all. Under that, she has all of her other books listed out as well. So this is very similar to what Amazon does, right? So when you go to Amazon and you are thinking about buying a book, or shoes or a lamp or a tiny house, whatever, there are going to be recommended products under that. Hopefully your readers will just continue buying your book and move on. But if worst case scenario, they see something else, then there's a chance that you'll miss out on that sale. So having your own website, being able to share your books as the recommended books is a great way to kind of upsell and invite your readers to experience more of your work and your content. So Phoebe Garnsworthy is a great example, and she is using Shopify, our app for Shopify with Lulu Direct. Another great example of using Shopify with Lulu Direct is Darren Smith. So Darren Smith is a nonfiction author. This is his book, Craftsman Creative. So he works with creatives. He helps them grow their businesses. And what I really like is that not only does he have his book front and center, but you can also get a first edition NFT. So this screen grab is from a couple months ago, but I think you could still do it. I know NFTs maybe have come and gone, but I just love this example of the customization. So this was a trend. This is something that he tried out and that he jumped on. And I think that's a really cool thing that you can do. So when I talked about subscribing to newsletters or staying on top of what's going on in your industry or in your genre, then you can do things like this. Like, again, you can decide, hey, today's Pancake Tuesday, get a free book, whatever. It's your website. You can do what you want with it. But I think he did a really nice job of presenting his content and trying to entice the readers. And I think this made sense for his audience. All right, so this is an example of our WooCommerce integration, and I really like this one because you can see that this looks really different from what I've shown you before. So the others just had really clean shop pages. They're really straightforward. With Outdoorsy Black Women, their coloring book that you see here, it's embedded in their community. So the customization options available to you with WooCommerce allow you to do things like this. So because they already had a community built and they wanted to share their books and their merch inside their community, so maybe you want to browse their events or look at their giveaways or get their app, but you can also really easily shop their page and have all that stuff on the left-hand navigation as well. So I wanted to share this too. So if you're thinking about, maybe you're doing some nonfiction content about mental health or about growing a business, then this could be a really great way for you to integrate that into a community and really build both at the same time. So I thought a really, really great example of using WooCommerce and really taking advantage of that customization to make something specific and special for your audience. All right, and I think this is my last example, but not least, this is the Honeycomb Collective. These are amazing people, big fans of the work that they do, but they're using our print API. And what's really cool about Honeycomb is they are creating personal astrological almanacs for their readers. So this is something that was a very time-consuming process until they developed this system to be able to customize them using our print API. So if you go to their website and you click on Buy Now, you'll be prompted to put in information specific to you so they can create your personal astrological almanac. So when you do this, every single book that they make is bespoke. Every single book that you make at Lulu is bespoke because they're all print on demand, but this takes it a step farther because it's customized to the recipient. Every person that goes to that page is going to put in their specific birth date. There are other details about themselves that they need to create this book. So every almanac is curated and customized specifically for the recipient. And this is something that you can do with our print API. So again, if you have something that's really highly customizable, I've seen people do this with books about, weight loss or fitness or health plans, maybe you have some mental health things or anything like that, food journals, exercise, personal almanac. So there's a lot of applications for this as well. And with the API, you can really customize exactly what you want your books to look like and build that out to create a really unique experience for your readers. All right, so how can you start selling direct? So I've talked your ears off for the past 50 minutes, and here are the kind of 6 high-level steps to getting started through selling your own website or selling direct. So first, you want to select your platform. So are you going WooCommerce? Are you going to go Shopify? Do you want to use a print API? Are you going to set up a website and sell, buy your books in bulk and sell directly through that? Are you going to go with the Phil Classic and sell from your trunk? You decide. What is your platform? So whatever your platform is, it's a great place to start because you can start familiarizing yourself with what you'll need to create your website and the specifications of each. Then you want to create an account on your e-commerce platform and Lulu.com. If you haven't created an account on Lulu, I recommend that you do so. We have a plethora of great tools to help you create your content. And also, if you go to lulu.com/pricing, you can see on our pricing calculator exactly how much your books will cost when you put in your specifications. So I think that's a really great way to kind of get started as well. So you can just be thinking about budget, what your books will cost, and what you're going to sell them for as you get started. Upload your project. So if you also, maybe I guess I could have put in here, write a book, but I think maybe, hopefully that's kind of assumed, but you'll want to upload your project to Lulu and connect to your WooCommerce store or upload it through our app for Shopify and connect with your Shopify store. Map your shipping options. There are a couple of different ways to do that. We have some great articles in our knowledge base that help you walk through shipping options for Shopify as well as WooCommerce. Complete end-to-end testing. It's just like ordering that proof copy. You got to do it. Make sure everything looks good. You want to be the one to find the problems, if there are any, not your customers. And then go live. And then I guess number 7 would have been tell people that you went live and send them to your website to buy your books. So again, high-level overview. There are some steps in between these steps, but if you're just kind of thinking of a framework, these are some of the beats that you need to hit. All right, so I am excited to share with you some Presources that we have. So first is a guide that we have about selling direct. We made this for holiday sales. Also, if you would be interested in a webinar on getting ready for holiday sales or how to boost holiday book sales, you can drop a comment in the chat or let me know. But if you go to makebooksmakebank.com, you will see our direct sales holiday guide, and then you can grab that there and download that. Lulu University. So that is our YouTube channel, and it will allow you, and if you go there, then you can see our video on how to sell books through your own website. That was where I grabbed that screen grab from. If you should go Shopify or WooCommerce, it has a lot more information about those two platforms and how they work. We also have a great blog. So if you are interested, if you would rather not watch me talk anymore, then I would say read the blog on how to sell books through your website. You can go to our blog and type in direct-to-consumer book selling and find that article. Paul did a great job on that. And then last but not least, follow us at lulu.com. So you can follow us on all the socials. We're doing all the things out there. So follow us there for insights on marketing. This is also where we post new content that we have, whether it be on our blog, our YouTube channel, our website updates, things like that. So follow us and check us out. All right. And now I will stop and let you guys ask questions. I know that Kristen's been in there looking at some. So I will say, I know that Kristen's been in the chat. If you haven't gotten your question answered, then please drop it in. I'll also say this is my email address. If you have any other questions for me, then please don't hesitate to reach out. I am happy to help. And I'm going to go ahead and put actually this one back on the screen so you guys can grab those resources. All right. Hi, David. Okay, so I think Kristen is answering those questions. All right. So I think, let's see. Well, Phil, I see that you were asking, is there a way of reaching these book clubs? Is there a way of reaching these to make their members aware and add my book to the reading list? Yeah, I mean, it's all about doing your research. So just like when you're looking at your audience research and where your target audience is, if there's a book club that they're really active in, go to that book club, go to that website, find the contact person that's listed on that site and reach out to them and say, hey, I think that your readers would really like my book. But I would also say for book clubs, for indie bookstores, for events in general, if you are pitching your book, then just make sure you really understand that audience. So if your book is about, and I bet it is, Phil, mermaid shapeshifter romance, and you're pitching that book to a nonfiction book club, that's going to be a really hard sell. So I would just say when you are doing your audience research and finding book clubs that really align with that audience, just make sure you kind of understand what books they've read in the past, what genres they're interested in, and make it easy for them to say yes to buying your book. Maybe you'll offer a discount. Maybe you can give them some sort of bulk deal those can all be really great ways to entice the book club to offer your book. And also reviews. This is where reviews come in as well. So maybe you have a little one-sheeter where you say, hey, I'm Phil. I have this book. I know your readers are going to love it, your book club. Here's, I can offer you these discounts. And also here's some reviews that I think will be really interesting to you because I'm talking about a topic that I know you're interested in. So yes, I would just say the way to do that is do your research, do a little bit of digging and see if you can find contact information for that book club. All right, let's see. All right, Kristen's crushing it in here. Okay, let's see. I'm going to hop back in the chat. Oh, okay. Alan has some domestic urgency that he's going to return to. All right, I think we may be wrapping up with any questions. I will do a last call for questions here. If you could drop them in the Q&A, that would be helpful for us to see. Let's see. I see Christopher saying analytics help me, but I have to pay for feedback. I ask my email subscribers all the time to write reviews. Is there a conversion method to encourage more reader book reviews? Will Lulu's service have a link to send purchasers to submit reviews to the publisher? So asking to submit reviews to the publisher, if you mean you as the publisher, we don't have that yet. But if you have your own website, then of course you can trigger that email automation as you've said you've done. I would just say, a way to reviews are difficult because, you don't want to pay for them, that much. You want it to be something that is more organic, but there are ways that you can kind of gamify it or say, hey, everyone that gave me a review, thank you so much. I'll give you a shout out on my email list. Or I don't know, this maybe, I feel like I was going to say offer a discount code if someone reviews your book. You could do that or maybe offer a free copy or something like that. But look into that because I know that kind of getting reviews in that way may be a little bit frowned upon. But, unfortunately or fortunately, the answer may just be Google it, look online, see what other people are doing. When was the last time you wrote a review and why did you do that? So maybe there's some other ways that you can entice people to do that by looking at other authors who have a lot of reviews. But you can also start sharing those reviews in your email and say, hey, I got this great review. If you want to be featured, then, post your review here. But again, Google that and make sure I'm not giving you unethical information. And thank you for that question. All right. Okay, so let's see. Liz said, I received a letter from a famous person who has since passed away. Is it possible to list his letter minus address on the reviews? I think that you can. I mean, if they addressed it to you and sent it to you, unless they made you sign like an NDA or it says, any very personal or what information that should not be let. I mean, I think that that's in your possession and they wrote to you. So I think that would be fine. I would have to say, use your discretion if it's anything, sensitive information that could get them in trouble or, upset their family. And then you could also kind of reach out to their trust and see if that's okay. That might be another way for you to make sure that you're able to use that information without ruffling any feathers. But yeah, I would definitely say take the address out. That's a really good idea. That's definitely a good starting point. But I think you're in the clear if they wrote that letter to you and it's yours. I think that's all right. All right. Okay. Thank you, Chris. I like the idea to earn review points to save on future purchases of products. Yeah. That sounds good, right? Try that out and let us know how it works. And if anyone else on the call has any tips on how to boost reviews, how to get people to write reviews, I know that unfortunately the time we live in now seems like people are much more eager and willing to write negative reviews than positive reviews. So hopefully you can find some good folks that are willing to give you some good reviews. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for the feedback. I really appreciate that. And thank you all for joining me. I know that we are now at the top of the hour. You have listened to me talk for an astounding amount of time, and I appreciate that. Thank you all for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I hope that you all have a great day. I will say one more time, Lulu University on our YouTube channel. We will post this there. Everyone who signed up for this webinar will get a copy of the recording. So you will be able to watch the replay and all the slides, of course, will be included. Go to makebooksmakebank.com if you would like to download our holiday guide that we made. It has a ton of great information really specific to direct sales and how you can do that and how you can really make the most of direct selling. And yeah, I hope that you are all going to have a great day ahead of you. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope wherever you are, it is cool and it is cooling off. And I hope that you're going to have a great day and a great week. Thank you so much again, everyone, for tuning in, and we will see you next time. Have an awesome day. Thanks, everybody.